Happy holidays, everyone. This is Zekiel here, and today I'll be reacting to Fiveish Minute Lore Episode 8, Ursarkar Creed, by Old Man Reacts. The Lord Castellan of Cadia, who, if I remember correctly, he is now in Trazen the Infinite's menagerie, whatever his collection was called. Without further ado, let us begin.
Warning. The views expressed in Fiveish Minute Lore, the lore delivered in rants, are sanctioned by their scholar Progenium as excess rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
General Ursarkar Creed. The man who may or may not have the ability to hide a fucking titan in plain sight.
Also, for anyone who doesn't know about that, is because back in, I think it was 5th edition, he had the ability Tactical Genius, which allowed him to use the Scouts rule on pretty much anything except for, I think, cavalry. So he could bring a Warhound Titan or a Baneblade and just hide it up to, I think it was 9 inches away from the enemy? Which has spawned a lot of memes.
Have fun.
Ursarkar Creed. The man. The meme. The legend! Like most of the creatures that are born into our universe of the glorious Grimdark, his origin story and life are a horror story. Creed began his life as the
Yeah, because since Scout's rule is just this is the guy who is going to do things like hide a Warhound Titan in a swimming pool or hide a Baneblade behind a lamppost.
the son of a retired Cadian shock trooper who decided the city of Khazar Galan would be a great place to raise a family. A massive group of Chaos cultists decided the city would be a great place to raise some hell. Creed's parents died, his sister died, and Creed himself spent some quality time with his sister hiding under his bed from the cultist. His dead sister. Welcome to the Grimdark again! At some point, a figure in black power armor shrouded in pale robes, most likely a member of a Space Marine Legion that never had any traitors whatso-fucking-ever.
Ah yes, Cypher.
I've fallen, and I can't get up!
Take the hint.
Tempers, Israel, did you hear that? We're totally gonna find Cypher now!
Yeah, so anyhow, this Space Marine gave him an old las pistol and talked to him for a little while. After an unknown amount of time had passed, the Cadian 8th rolled into town and found Creed holding an old book about the patron saint of the Imperial Guard and the same said las pistol. Considering he was the lone survivor of the hellhole that had been his home, the 8th adopted him like some sort of regimental pet. And he was taken underneath the wing of Ursarkar, who molded him into a guardsman. Considering the career path of Cadians is either guardsman or fortress builder, you can guess that Creed was pretty much in the accelerated program for Cadia. As soon as he was old enough, he joined the Imperial Guard.
White Shield mistake number 35, accepting sticks from madly grinning death whirlers after a battle you just survived. Their sense of practical jokes is normally fatal. Hey.
And almost instantaneously got placed into a formation called the White Shields, which was for the elite youth of the Cadian military. It was then that he was noted for being insanely good at leadership, and by insanely good, I mean by the Emperor's balls was he impressive. After fighting in the Black Crusade, he had become the captain of the Cadian shock troops, and his friend Jaren Kell was made his standard bearer. From that point on, even though he resembled a Minecraft avatar, he simply began to stomp the life out of anything that fought him, no matter what the odds were. And after forces he led murdered a Chaos Lord, he was promoted to Lord General. In fact, the only reason he wasn't promoted even higher faster was because for some stupid reason a fortress world like Cadia still in some way cared about who your daddy was. But after a clusterfuck of a battle called the Tyrock Fields, where most of the Cadian High Command got fucking murdered, he was given to the rank of Lord Castellan, basically because he had saved the Cadian forces from completely falling apart. He had that position for only 1 year before the 13th Black Crusade, but before...
Which, by the way, if I remember correctly, something Creed did, like when he was getting the position, like some stipulation that he gave I think like the local planetary governor. I don't remember what it was.
Before we go into what happened to him, I know the question is there for some of you. Why is Creed such a damned meme? Well, buckle up, Buttercup. Time to learn you something.
What's in your wallet? Baneblade!
On the tabletop for a good long while, Creed was the sole owner of the ability called Tactical Genius. These examples are ridiculous but entirely accurate as to how Tactical Genius worked. When Creed was used, the player could specify a unit and grant it the Scout rule, which meant it could just appear on the edge of battle and engage the enemy. Where it turned into a pure fucking meme was the fact
Teleport to your command bunker, but you already hit a Baneblade in the potted plant 3 months ago. Oh look, Failbadon the Armless.
that the rule was just so vague it could be applied to any unit Creed could command in his army. Any unit! Baneblades the size of buildings, titans hundreds of feet tall, could simply walk onto the battlefield. So the memes of Creed hiding a formation of Baneblades in a potted plant appeared, and by game rules, it was legit as long as it was close to the edge of the map. Anyhow, now that you know where the Creed meme came from, onto the 13th Black Crusade. Abaddon got granted the reset button because GW couldn't be fucked with to actually make him a legitimate threat to begin with. At this point, Creed had been Lord Castellan of Cadia for less than a year. This genetic abnormality of a human being held off Abaddon for so long that eventually Abaddon just said, fuck it! In all due likelihood, he got tired of trying.
Americans when the trees start speaking Vietnamese. Russians when the snow starts speaking Finnish. French when the Belgian bush starts speaking German. And Abaddon when the bush starts speaking Baneblade. Oh man, and it was so Vietnam War, then the Winter War, I think was it called, when the Russians invaded Finland before World War II, and then start of World War II when Germany enters France through the Ardennes, which by the way, it's like, if I remember correctly, they had the Belgians not pulled out of the defense agreement with France, then Germany, if I remember correctly, really actually wouldn't have been able to actually go through the Ardennes into France because that area was supposed to be covered on the Belgian side.
Trying to take a piss and having to duck a kick from a Warhound Titan that had just stepped from behind a cat turd. In a final act of pure nerd rage, Abaddon shrieked Creed for the final time and threw a black stone fortress onto the surface of Cadia while flailing his arms and stomping his feet. Right at the point Creed was about to Snapchat Abaddon and tell him the only person to scream Creed's name like that had been Abaddon's mother, the fortress struck. Abaddon pulled an Al Gore and thought everyone would assume he was awesome, and Cadia began to fall apart.
Everyone is super stoked on me, even if they don't know it.
When Cadia unraveled, Abaddon spent the next 3 weeks trying to convince everyone that what he'd done was on purpose, but meanwhile Creed had vanished. Or had he? At some point, you delightful bastards, I'm gonna have to tell you about Trazyn the Infinite. Somewhere on the Tomb Mortal Solemnis, there is a single exhibit which is called The Last Stand of Ursarkar Creed. And in that exhibit, this Mr. Potato Head look-alike stands in his final splendor. And I guarantee you, if you press a button on the side of the exhibit, there's going to be a little speaker that plays that Abaddon yelling.
Yeah, that was a fun time, as always, is with these 5-ish minute lore videos that Old Man and Reacts makes. As always, you should check out his channel if you haven't already, and there'll be a link to the original video in the description below. And that'll be all for now. Zakiziel signing off.